stream may or may not be for you, but consider this. It's about overcoming the odds. I was watching something or reading something about, the NBA Finals, LeBron James, and the reporters were asking him about, the insurmountable odds stacked against him from the Golden State Warriors, you know, as opposed to the Cleveland Cavaliers, especially with the historic game that he had in game one, 51 points. And then all of a sudden Curry came back with the threes in game two, swish, swish. That's how that situation was going. And he was saying how, LeBron James was saying how, the odds have been stacked against him since he was an adolescent, since he was like 5 or 6. And that just had me thinking about, how, I guess like odds can be stacked against people. And sometimes it becomes deeper than, the challenge or the obstacles that's in front of you. Sometimes you need to know that you can overcome the odds yourself, personally, just, sometimes you have the doubters, the naysayers, the things before you that, make the struggle, realer than and, we all face struggles, we all face things, shout out to the person that just came through and the thumbs up, and it's a challenge sometimes just trying to overcome the odds and, or, like get over the hurdles, especially when, along the journey, the company that you keep sometimes may just be your own shadows, your own doubts, your own fears, your own lack of confidence, or your confidence that you're trying to build up the faith in yourself. So it does become that situation where, overcoming the odds is a real thing. It is a real situation to, feel like, no matter what you do, it's never enough, to feel as if, you don't have that support. In the beginning, you have to be your own cheerleader. You have to really believe in yourself, believe in your character, believe in the mission of what you're doing, and really push forward and go through it and struggle and have doubts and fears and, just, different things that you do to, push yourself forward to get yourself, in the game and whatnot. So when I was just looking at that thing and I'm reading the interview about, what LeBron James was saying, about the odds being stacked against you, it happens. And it's not just for the game, it happens in life. We all have odds stacked against us. Shout out to the other person that just came through to the chat. You know, yeah, we do have odds stacked against us. We do have situations where, it can be trying and challenging and stuff like that. Let me throw on some shades or whatever, I'm challenging these rays right now, But for the most part, I think, people go through things and whatnot. Thumbs up for me, just stop by to support. Thank you, Tars. Appreciate that. Have a great day. You have a great day as well. I'm just here, just talking, just speaking a little bit, And I think all of us, just have different things that we go through, different challenges or whatever the case may be, And the thing is not to, is not to be deterred by the situation. Of course, you're going to have times where you get distracted. Of course, times you have where you fall down. There'll be times when you doubt yourself. There'll be times when you start to believe the negativity. You'll see the odds stacked up against you and you say, well, maybe this is not the way to go, or maybe I should quit, maybe I should give up. And I encourage and challenge people to, still keep going and push forward anyway. Let the chips fall where they may. And not everybody can do that. So I acknowledge that as well, too. There are people that need to build up that strength, to build up that faith, to build up that prowess, that fortitude, that internal fortitude to go after those particular things that they're trying to accomplish, in life, in the journey, that we face, because it's not easy some days. Sometimes, you wake up and you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to transpire, but you keep pushing forward, and against all odds, you go through the process. I appreciate that, Cargo 619. Appreciate you for coming through. It was a quick live stream yesterday. It's me, Mr. 332. That's interesting. I don't know what that means, but thank you, Scott King. Thank you for coming through. And I know people out there face challenges. They face odds. They face things that are stacked against them. Sometimes, hey, what's going on, Liberty City? Thank you for coming through. Sometimes people face odds stacked against them because of the background that they come from, because of the sexual orientation that they have, the religion, the social economic status, so, of who they are, the family, all kind of stuff, disabilities that people faces and stuff like that. There's all types of things that happens, but I encourage people to believe in yourself, to trust in the process, to adapt and learn and grow and change and shift, as necessary. Don't just stay in one particular way. If something's not working, you change it up, you shift it, you switch. If there's people around you that are negative, then, like I said, you go to the positive point. Like I was talking about my last live stream last night. You go where the love is. If there's hate around you and stuff like that, don't stay in a confine of hate, in a circle of hate. Go where the love is. Go where the people that support you. It may not always be a whole bunch of people. It may be far and few in between people that support you along your journey and overcoming the odds. But it's like, even if the odds are stacked against you, you move forward and push on it and go towards it, because it's better than just sitting to the side feeling sorry for yourself. What's going on, Kenneth fam? Kenneth the Kentucky fam, you changed the name now. Okay, the Kentucky fam is here. Appreciate that. But like I said, people know, you folks know what it is. Thank you, Liberty City. Yeah, appreciate you. Thumbs up. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. But I think, we've all, like I said, we all face, challenges. We all face, stresses and whatnot, and, it's important to acknowledge what those stresses and what those challenges are, because if you don't acknowledge them, then how can you face them? A lot of times people spend so much time running from the obstacles, running from the chance to overcome that thing, because if you don't face your challenges, if you don't face the odds will always chase you. Nothing can't chase you if you're not running from it. If odds are coming against me, the odds can't chase me. If the obstacles, if the danger, whatever that is, is coming towards me, and I stand face to face to it, then, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Whatever that outcome is that outcome. Not being afraid of, what's going to happen, is important. Acknowledging, whatever dangers and things that may come, that's important as well. But a lot of times I see people where, they get fearful, and I myself too, struggle with that, not, being fearful or putting stuff off, or, saying, well, maybe that's not for me, or maybe those odds are too insurmountable, or you make excuses, whatever the case may be. And it's a particular situation where I encourage people to modestly self-efface, look in the mirror, look back on your life, be realistic about yourself. Have you accomplished the things that you needed to accomplish? Are you really going after it and stuff like that? Are you really pushing forward to do what it is that you need to do, to make some things happen, to really, tackle and overcome your fears, your problems, your obstacles and stuff like that, and do it in a realistic way, understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, where you prosper, where you don't, who you should be hanging around, who you shouldn't be hanging around, what you're watching, what you shouldn't be watching. I struggle with that on a regular basis. Things that I should be doing, shouldn't be doing, shouldn't be watching, or shouldn't be thinking, or whatever the case may be. That's why I try to come to these live streams. I don't just present, one way or one thing. I'm not saying, everything is just all positive, all sunshine and rainbows. Like I said, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It is what it is. People go through things. We all have, fears, vices, demons that we face, skeletons in our closets, or, even if you don't want to address them, they are there. We try to appeal to our better angels, hopefully, I hope, but that's each individual person. Each individual person has a cross to bear if they want to bear it, but the point of all this is just saying, don't be surprised if, you get mediocre outcomes, or things are not accomplished if you're not willing to face them and be realistic with yourself. And I say this to myself many times: if I haven't accomplished things or achieved a certain level of success or learned or gained a certain level of wisdom, I have to really take a deep look, a soul searching of sorts, to say, hey, you know what? Maybe this is something that I need to take time away from or spend more time on, whatever it is: prayer, supplication, diet, sleep, work, whatever the case may be, study, whatever the case it is, just, even pulling away from social media. These things happen. It has to be a purpose for it. It has to be something to gain, something to really, look at and say, wow, this is, worthwhile. This is something that I should be focused on, or a singular thing, or maybe I should have my focus here, or maybe my focus needs to be there. Overcoming the odds a lot of times is about facing up, straight up, like, this is what's coming at me. You're working right now. Are you talking to me, Cargo? I don't know if you're talking to me or you're talking to somebody else in the chat, but if you are, it is what it is. If you got to get back to work, I appreciate you for coming by. It's what's going on. Brown Dwarf, thank you for coming through. Thank you, Cargo 619. If you're working right now, thank you for being here for a minute, whatever the case may be. I appreciate it. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on, but I am going to try to keep a consistent standard of how long I keep my live streams, because I know last month I had too many live streams that weren't long enough, so I'm trying to make sure that I have a certain minute or whatever. Mr. Dutch, appreciate you for coming through. And the funny thing about obstacles, it's probably always good to see you, friend. Yeah, no, it's always good to see you as well, or hear from you, Cargo. Positive vibes to you, love and peace to your family and stuff like that. So it is a situation where, hold on, let me check something right quick. I'm still here. I'm still here. Just making sure everything is good. Just making sure everything is good, because usually when I do these live streams, that's sometimes you get interrupted, stuff like that. I'm aboard some of you working and watching isn't a problem. Okay, cool, Cargo. I appreciate you, but for the most part, I'm just here making it work. Sorry, I was distracted. I thought I was getting a knock on the door. Getting back to work, everyone. Have a wonderful day. All right, Liberty Bells, thank you. Appreciate it. I just got a little sidetracked for a second, because I am expecting a knock on the door or something like that. So, that's just what that is. But, where was I? Yeah, overcoming the obstacles a lot of times is just about being realistic with yourself and being willing to face up with it, straight up. Take care, Liberty Bells. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. Being willing to face up, against the odds, because you can't overcome something that you're not willing to, go up against, or willing to, see it for what it is and say, all right, how do I go about it and stuff like that. Sometimes, it's things that we're doing wrong that's preventing us from, going to where we need to go, blocking our blessing, or, maybe it's a negative thinking, maybe it's a negative lifestyle that we, partake in, or negative thoughts and stuff like that, just people that you're around and stuff like that. So you always look at your environment, start with the self and figure out, okay, what am I doing wrong first, and really make a fair assessment. And then you go, along the journey, and then start checking things off and start realizing what you do. It's like somebody was telling me, they say, especially when you have like problems with your health, one of the first things you should do is always look at what you're eating, look at the time you're going to sleep, look at, how much you're spending your time on one particular thing, are you getting the proper rest and stuff like that? Are you in a good space, or whatever the case may be, and is many different things, mind, body, spirit, soul, however you want to say that, that, align us with what we need to do, who we need to be. Like I said, I'm not trying to get too deep into anything or whatever, but, it is about being willing to, go out there and face our fears sometimes. One of my fears, or one of my things that I struggle with, is a fear of heights, stuff like that. You up too high, you don't want to fall or anything like that. It's about trying to be balanced. You're like kind of constantly walking a tightrope, and you lean one way too much, then you fall over. You stay straight, you could fall over by not moving forward, so you constantly walking that tightrope, to the point where you're just trying to get to where you need to be. But there's dangers in leaning one way or leaning another, or just staying still, but you keep going along until you, meet whatever goal that you're trying to meet. What's up, Patch? I appreciate you for coming through. Just talking about overcoming the odds, facing fears, going through things that people, are worried about and whatnot. You can't overcome and, achieve your goals, your dreams, and things like that if you're not willing to face the obstacles of the things that are in your way. Sometimes it's family members, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's true enemies and legit things, within the system that, stop you from doing it. Sometimes it's really just yourself, Sometimes it's the negativities and things that we allow to creep inside of our mind, inside of our head, to stop us from overcoming and achieving and doing things that we do. Hopefully everything is good with you, brother. Patch, thank you for being here. I haven't forgotten about you. If you want to do a live stream or something like that, if you're available, I know you got things going on with you. Just hit me up in the chats and stuff like that. I've been around. I'm still doing my thing or whatever the case, and I appreciate all you folks for being here and whatnot. I don't know if any of you have any thoughts in the chat about overcoming odds. Like I asked you people in the chat and folks in the replay, #replay gang, what do you do to overcome the odds? How do you overcome, challenges and situations and things that you face? Allow our dreams at times to dictate by others to take up space in our heads rent free. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we do allow that to happen. A lot of times, Patch, and the thing is to try to, move away from that. Like, you balling today? Nah, I'm not balling. I'm just chilling. Brown Door says mind over matter. No, Cargo, I think, is still here. Cargo is still here. She's still here. I think she's still here. Yeah. So I don't know, but let me know how do you folks in the chat? How do you overcome, you know, different obstacles and stuff like that. Frozen. Oh, you had a frozen moment. It's all good. That's a Disney reference, though. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Phlegm. Yeah, I appreciate you for listening, Cargo. Thank you for being here. Like I said, I don't know how much longer I'll be on, but I'm on long enough to make an impact. And Fury 009, thank you for being here and whatnot. Literally, it's all good. Yeah, I just feel like, me personally, you know, sometimes we just need to be realistic with ourselves about, you know, what's going on, and we live in a world of opposites. A lot of times people are confused, or not paying attention to the fact that if you're trying to accomplish something, and just as hard as you're trying to accomplish something, there are forces out there, opposite and opposing forces out there, trying to stop you from getting it, whatever those forces may be, whatever that system may be. Not to get conspiracy theory, but meaning this, you know, it's like they said in the good book, you know, we war not against flesh and blood, but against principles. So people have different principles. You almost look at it like politics, you know, Democrat versus Republican or whatever. I just take another puff. That's funny. That's the way you deal with it, Sky King. Some people choose to do that. But we do have an opposition of principles, an opposition of, you know, ideologies and stuff like that people fight against. So if I have a mission or a dream in my heart, then, you know, there's people out there, you know, who have a mission, a dream in their heart, a goal to stop me from achieving or attaining my goal. What's up, Christian Janicki? Thank you for coming through. Hopefully you're staying strong out there. Wishing you all the best and whatnot. You know, thank you for stopping by, brother. I definitely appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. I definitely appreciate all you folks that's in the chat right now. You know, that's just what it is. You know, it's a challenge to hold people's attention and talk about something that's relevant, you know, and just, you know, for real. This is a really this is a really of duality, a realm of duality. Yes, it's a realm of duality. Yes, it's a realm of duality. Brown dwarf, to where, on one end you're trying to accomplish things, and on the other end people are trying to stop you from doing it. Or you can Hulk smash the obstacles and take it on and go out and try it yourself, and it doesn't work. Well, yeah, you can Hulk smash the obstacles. You know, 009. You know, but the thing with that, you know, is like, you know, they say, the old saying is, if you kill them, you know, they won't learn anything, you know. So you want to face the obstacles, you know, you want to try to overcome the odds or whatever the case may be, but you want those odds or those people on the other end of those odds to try to learn as much as possible as well. You know, you want to try to, you know, have mercy upon your enemies, upon those folks that, you know, that have judged you, you know, saying, you know, judge not lest ye be judged, you know. So it's like that. You're trying to say, okay, I judge the actions that you took against me were wrong, but I fight not to judge you, because as a human being, you're flawed and imperfect just as I am. So, you know, to look at that and see that for what it is to say, you know, have compassion. Because if it was on the other end, if it was reversed, and it was you trying to stop somebody from doing something, you know, and you're doing it in a negative way, and they're trying to do something positive, uplifting and upbuilding, you would want mercy as well. So it is, you know, it is that, you know, sometimes you have to Hulk smash through things, but you don't want to have it to the point where nobody learns anything. You know, overcoming the obstacles and the odds is kind of tricky, because you want to overcome the obstacles and the odds, but you, at the same time, you don't want to kill your opponent. You don't want to kill your enemies, you know, unless that's what you set out to do. That's a whole other thing. Maybe it's the same thing, I don't know. But I particularly say that even if I'm trying to overcome, you know, some obstacles, the system, or whatever the case may be, I do want people to learn on the other side. I do want people to come away with a different perspective, you know, to be open-minded about what was happening or whatever. You know, even if somebody's coming against me, you know, to stop me from doing things or putting odds and things in front of me, I do learn from the obstacles and the ideologies or the reasonings of why somebody would try to stop me from achieving a particular thing, a dream, a goal that I have in my heart, or whatever the case may be. You know, it is a situation where, you know, you can learn from everything. I encourage people to learn from the struggle, to learn from the odds that are stacked against them. Sometimes the more powerful you are, the more odds you have stacked against you. Sometimes the less significant you are, the less you may have stacked against you, or vice versa. You know, people may play mind games with you and things like that. You know, it's different things. People may just want to see if they can get a reaction out of you. There's a whole bunch of things that happen as it pertains to, you know, particularly trying to overcome odds. The question is, who are you in the midst of all these things. It reveals and shows your character. I think it was Martin Luther King that said that you know a man by not how they are in times of like great dealings or whatever. I'm paraphrasing, but you find out who a man is in times of great trouble, tribulation, times of weakness and stuff like that. And I'm paraphrasing, of course. So you find out who you are when the odds are stacked against you, when things seem the darkest, when situations are the bleakest. You find out who you really are. The odds, they reveal our character. They reveal our perseverance, our discipline, our attention to detail, our focus. You want to find out who you are, face a challenge, lose a loved one, go through some hellish thing, become homeless, become crippled, lose an eye, no offense, Patch, or anything like that. Go through some traumatic situations. You'll find out how strong you are. You'll get tested. I'm not saying I want people to go through those things, but sometimes you go through these things because you're strong enough to bear these things. They say God never puts more on you than you can bear. More on you than you can handle and stuff like that. Hopefully this is making sense to anybody. Thank you, Cargo. So it's just one of those situations where I encourage people to understand that sometimes the obstacles we face is not a condemnation of us. It's not an indictment of us. Sometimes it's a situation where you have to be pushed, or you have to be led with that bridge over troubled waters. It's like you have to have that bridge built over troubled waters so you can get to where you need to be, because sometimes we get stagnant. Sometimes if we don't have troubled waters come our way, sometimes if we don't have the tribulation come our way, we'll get comfortable. We'll stay in one place doing the same thing, at the same time, in the same way. We won't grow. We won't shift. We won't change. We won't think differently because we're comfortable where we are. And no offense to anybody, but if you're comfortable where you are, thinking the same way and being the same type of person as you was 20 years ago, then it's like Muhammad Ali said, if you're the same in your 50s as you were in your 20s, then you basically wasted 20 to 30 years of your life. So you want to grow, you want to change, you want to adapt. I'm 37 now. I don't want to think the same way and be the same way I was when I was 17. I'm not 17 anymore. I'm a grown man going through different things, regardless if I'm in the same neighborhood, regardless if I live by myself, live with family, whatever the case may be. I'm not the same as I was back then. Yeah, Cargos, you want to grow, you want to change, because you and don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you to let go of yourself and not have certain traits and forget what it was like to be a kid, to get what it was like to have joy, because you pass that down to the younger generations. But it's not so much so where you're holding on to that and you're thinking exactly like that. I'm not saying don't have imagination. I'm not saying don't have dreams and goals. Don't have like a childish enthusiasm. I'm not saying don't humble yourself as a child would humble themselves in the presence of a situation that calls for that, whatever that may be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. Thank you, Cargo. I appreciate that. It's a situation where I tell people, it's about learning, adapting, growing, understanding that, we are, it's necessary for us to become different people for different things. Nobody can twist someone's words, but I'm a master of twisting into the back. And that's funny. That's funny, Sky King. Thank you for that rendition of the wording that you just twisted. That was funny, though. I sort of play on words there. But like I'm saying, it should be a situation where people grow, they adapt, they change, and just adjust to the, environment. I think it was Tupac that said it. You either learn to evolve or you disappear. Unfortunately, the irony of all that is that he wound up disappearing himself. I don't think he evolved quick enough. Rest in peace to Tupac. But the thing about that is just, you come to a situation where a deadhead, no man has ever stepped in the same river twice, not the same river, and he's not the same man. Wow, okay, you're going deep, nothing wrong with that, Oh, Tupac, he was meant to be the love of my life. yeah, it's funny. Come with me, yeah, maybe would you run quick, see, what do we have here now? This time, wanna ride or die, that was my Tupac, but yeah. Let me go back to what Deadhead was saying. No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it is not the same river, and he is not the same man. Heraclitus. Well, that's true. It's not the same river. It's not the same place. Something has always changed. Something has always been added to it. Just recognizing that you can be different. You should be different. When you stepped in the same place that you stepped in before. So it is interesting. It is interesting to say that. I appreciate that. That quote. Maybe my interpretation may not be the same, but it is. What it is. I, Scott Teen, tried to twist words, but I can never touch them. Seems to be not concrete. That's interesting. 009. I got some tongue twister words in myself. In myself, I write poetry or whatever. I got this one poem that I did called "Sound Asleep," and it's basically about a cheating boyfriend, and the girlfriend goes through his phone, and I wrote that. It was a cool poem. I got to find out where I put the poem. But it's a tongue twister in there. So anyway, but that's another story. Yeah. No, definitely. On the same line of vein of what we were talking about. You want to try to grow and be different and overcome the obstacles, because in a lot of ways that's how you overcome the obstacles, by adapting, changing, growing, being different and whatnot. So this is something that I will talk about subsequently in another live stream. Oh, frozen. You guys. Okay, that's what you're saying. You're saying frozen. I thought before earlier you were having a frozen moment. You were just saying frozen. Okay, cool. You see where I'm at. I'm all over the place and whatnot too. Nah, but I think in a lot of ways, the best thing we could do is be realistic about ourselves, who we are, and where we stand in any particular situation. To be realistic that if the odds are stacked against us, justly, unjustly, to realize, that the situation is what it is, to assess it properly, and say, hey, maybe this is a situation where I need to look at and rethink and go about it in a different way. Because it said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and over, expecting a different result. So obstacles and things that happen, they challenge us in a lot of ways, to become different, to become who we need to be for the next journey, the next stage, a step like that in life. But I don't know, laughing at. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Scott King. I don't know if you should laugh with that one either. But it's there. That's what it is. So, particularly that's how that thing transpires, it goes, or whatever the case may be. Yeah. I was sidetracked with that. But I think you folks kind of get where I'm saying. I mean, but like I said, I would like to know how you overcome your obstacles. Maybe you folks have some content, some ideas and stuff like that. I'll be interested to know. Like I said, if you put it now, you want to say it now, or you say it after the video is uploaded. That's up to you. But I think just not being afraid to face the world on a cold day, not to being afraid to face your fears, your obstacles when things seem the darkest, when things seem to be the most strenuous and stressful. Sometimes just being willing to show up and really do battle, or show up and really go at it is half the battle. I'm saying sometimes it's just being willing to go through things and let the chips fall where they may, being willing to endure, being willing to look foolish, being willing to be stressed out, being willing to be doubtful, being willing to be self-critical and stuff like that, can definitely, push us and challenge us. It makes us stronger, if we can get through, if you can survive. How did the old timer say it? He says, when you have a date with destiny, life only requires one thing of you, that you survive, you survive. And surviving, a lot of surviving is being willing to face and overcome those odds, and in the best way possible, in the most realistic way possible, seeing what you have before you, the tools that you have in your hands, the knowledge, the wisdom that's maybe contained inside of you. Let me see what Cargo 619 is saying. Sometimes there is no method to my madness. I just know that I can choose to be in misery, or to fight my way through whatever I can, because life's too short. That's an awesome, that's an awesome thing. Yeah, crack the whip for Scott King. Yeah, no, that's an awesome comment that Cargo 619 was saying. Sometimes there's no method to the madness. You just you have that situation where you could choose to be miserable or to fight your way through. And it's best to be a fighter a lot of times. A lot of times, when you just you're swinging and whatnot. Sometimes you just, hopefully you hit something and you knock something, and you see light at the end of the tunnel. But you have to be willing to take a swipe at it, to take a charge, to say, hey, you know what, look, I want to push forward, even if this is, maddening and whatnot, even if this is a situation where it makes no sense. It's better than standing still sometimes, just, not doing anything, being in misery or whatever the case may be. And, there's folks that want that. That's another live stream that I want to get into. I don't want to veer into that right now, but I'm going to talk about that as well. So, I'm glad you brought that up, Cargo. I'm going to talk about, the pity pot and stuff like that. That's another live stream that I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to do that live stream today. I might do it today. I might not. I might do it tomorrow, depending on how I feel, depending on, how the live streams stack up or line up. I might go live once more again today or twice more. I don't know, but I have a lot to talk about. And I know you folks are here with me, and I appreciate you being here. I try to have engaging conversations. Forgive me if my conversations are a little bit too serious. I mean, some people tell me I shouldn't apologize for that, but I know that this is not for everybody. So I don't assume and pretend that my live streams are for everybody, because they are not. I mean, some live streams are entertaining and fun and uplifting and upbuilding, and it's just that. And I appreciate and respect those folks that do that. That maybe entertaining all the time. I try to entertain you with ideas, my thoughts, my words, my speech, and sometimes I'm just goofing off my, like, on those live streams or whatever the case may be, so I just try to make people think, argue, question, explore, different ideas. I'm not always right. There's times that I'm wrong. There's times when, I could come off a little bit judgmental, but, I do apologize if I hurt anybody or say anything that's condescending or demeaning, or and things that I didn't mean. So I hope that you understand that. And I'm not trying to be apologetic or whatever the case may be. That's the thing, man. It doesn't matter what you do. I was enjoying my time here. Thank you. I appreciate that, Cargo 619. I definitely appreciate that. But I do speak to the people that may have the criticism, or may say, well, he's a little too serious all the time or whatever. And sometimes I can be a little bit serious, but to me, life is serious and things that are going on. But I do have live streams and things that I do that are uplifting, that are upbuilding, as far as, just being funny and whatnot. But in all seriousness, we were born imperfect world, and we get one fingerprint on that here only once we fought through it again, and so it won't hurt someone to overcome earthly obstacles. Yeah, no, that's awesome, Fury. Yeah, we only got one chance to leave our fingerprint and whatnot, and why not, spend your time, trying to do what you got to do and just push forward to try to overcome, the obstacles and things that you face, but that's just kind of the way it is, like I said. But it just goes. I go back to what Cargo 619 was saying. You can choose to sit around and be miserable, or you can fight, and fight through the obstacles. Sometimes there is no method to the madness. You get up, you wake up, you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know what's going to transpire, and I try to figure it out myself, but the reality is a lot of times you don't have to have it all figured out. It's just you have to be willing to get up and just go through it and do those things that need to be done, to live. Sometimes you can sit around thinking and philosophizing and strategizing, so much so, procrastinating, that you don't do anything, and then you sit around wondering why nothing got done. It is a time to sit down and deliberate. It's a time to laugh. It's a time to cry. It's a time for war, for peace, all that stuff. But then it's a time just to get out there and start getting it on and start doing what you got to do. It's just start, doing what's necessary to get the work done, to make things happen, And sometimes we forget that as people, that, sometimes, you got to fight for it. They say anything worth having in this world is worth fighting for. And what are you fighting against? You're fighting against the obstacles. You're fighting against people telling you maybe, you're too fat, or you're too skinny, or you're too short, or you're not smart enough, or, you're not black enough, you're too white, or, you're not Asian enough, you're not Spanish enough, or you're not gay enough, or whatever the case may be, Yeah, I mean, it's all, or you're not religious enough, whatever the case may be. It's always something. True, you can sit around and be miserable. The attitude, always a story that much someone else's could be there, sad story. Things can change and overcome it. Yes, things can change. I'm a great judge of character. I hear that, Scott King. You know, there's some courtrooms out there that would love you. You know, but yeah, you know, it is important to be you. You know, okay, what is that? Pointing and thumbs up. I don't know what that means, Cargo, but I appreciate you. You know, you still here. Okay, cool. Um, but yeah, you know, I think you folks get where I'm coming from. What's up? What's up, Yas Poet? I appreciate you. Have an awesome day. Thank you for giving a thumbs up. I know you got things that you're doing. I appreciate you being here for a second, a moment. Don't know how long you was listening. No, it's all good if it was a typo, Cargo 619. I just appreciate you for being here because I know, you know, you didn't have to you spend the time here. I know y'all folks didn't have to spend the time here listening to me, and I really truly do. Or still here, watering the veggies. I need to water the plants myself too. So I'm gonna get into that in a little bit. But right now I'm here with you, filling out job ads. I wish you all the best with that, brother. I wish you all the best. You know, with your job search and whatnot. You know, whatever you're trying to do. You know, it's an obstacle to do that too. Kind of mention you enter points for herself and drop a like on herself. Oh, okay, cool. There's nothing wrong with dropping a like on yourself. Love yourself, appreciate yourself. You know, yeah, it's poet. You know, you know how it goes, man. You know, it's hard out there. For some reason, they seeing the economy is doing better, and you know, jobs are plentiful and whatnot. You know, it's just it's crazy. Believe me. You know, it's a lot of part-time jobs out there, but it's not a lot of full-time jobs out there. You know, and then you have to get training and all that stuff. That's a whole other conversation. But you know, definitely, you know, peace, blessings, and all that to you, my brother. Hopefully, you find what it is that you're looking for. You know. I don't want to get off on a tangent or whatever the case may be, but what you're doing is a part of overcoming the odds, you know, especially, you know, trying to find the right work, making a living wage, you know, not letting people tell you that you don't have the right to work, you know, and stuff like that. There's a lot of right to work people out there and whatnot, you know, so, you know, I do encourage people just, you know, don't let the obstacles overcome you. You overcome the obstacles. You try to fight to overcome the system, even if it's not fair, even if it's unjustly stacked against you. You know, I see Cargo and Frozen over there having a nice conversation. That's cool. You know, I like to see people in the chat enjoying themselves, having a good time, just back and forth, you know, having a cool conversation or whatever the case may be. I prefer custodial work. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, Yas Poet. I see the bottom line and hear this unspoken words. That's interesting. That's poetic right there. Do I see the unspoken words? Probably do. Who knows? Yeah, nah, but it is. Yeah, Frozen is my home slice. Yeah, nah, Frozen is definitely cool. Frozen's all over the place. You know, I like to see people enjoying themselves and just having a good time in the chat. You know, listening and just vibing and doing all that particular stuff that folks do. You know, it's crazy like that. It's definitely crazy like that. I guess now what I'm trying to figure out in the live stream is how long should I make this live stream, because I don't want to keep you folks too long. So I guess you tell me, you know, because I could wrap this up, you know, at the 40-minute mark. But if you'd like to hear more, then this is what it is. I gotta just holler at you later. Okay, Yas Poet, I appreciate you, you know, for being here. I appreciate the whole vibe and everything like that. Wish you much success on your journey, whatever you're trying to do with the job search, and you know, don't give up, brother. You know, don't give up. Don't give up. It's challenging, but you do what you got to do. Whatever you feel, whatever is needed. Well, you're saying whatever I feel, whatever is needed, 009, because, you know, like I said, I don't want to go too long, because if I'm going to go live later, like I said, I could do a whole bunch of these. All right, Yas Poet, peace to you, brother. You know, like I said, I could do a whole bunch of these live streams. Literally, I could do an hour live stream and come back, you know, an hour later with another hour live stream, and then come back later with another hour live stream. I have the time today. I have the time. I have a lot to talk about. I have things that I try to mix up and put it in a certain way, you know, whatever the case may be. I need to set up my other laptop to see if I could try to do a panel today. That would be dope and awesome if I could get my other live stream up so I could do a panel or whatever the case may be. Let it go with the flow, like always. Okay, so then Scott King said, let it go with the flow. Well, I'm gonna go with the flow then. I'm gonna go with the flow. We'll see what happens, you know, in a few minutes. I don't know if you folks got anything that you particularly want to talk about. If you want to veer off into another subject matter situation, I appreciate you, just folks, for being here, just vibing with me, just, you know, I guess, you know, going through the motions or whatever. It's a calm, cool day, you know. It's just one of those days where you just, you know, well, most of my live streams are the chill kickback live stream for some reason now. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just my vibe or whatever. controlled nature or whatever the case is. I don't want to get too crazy. Hulk smash. Forgive me. Something with my voice. I don't know what's going on with my voice. Maybe I'm talking too much. But yeah, people just face things, man. They go through stuff. Yeah, Cargo. I must have said something. It's always good to make you laugh. Not just say I say people face things. No, people have things. We have things as people that we should face, that we need to face. Don't turn into Green Bay Wacky on us. I love Green Bay Wacky. Shout out to Green Bay Wacky. He doesn't get enough credit for how much of a support he is to the community. I really think people don't appreciate that man enough. I probably don't appreciate that man enough. He's a very intelligent guy, with all the antics aside, all the wacky live streams aside. This is a very intelligent man. If you ever get the opportunity to talk to Green Bay Wacky about YouTube, about social media, about sales, about life, I've learned so much from the man that it's scary. Things about, I can't get into all of it, but like I said, stuff that we talked about. Yeah, he's a big influence and amazing supporter. He's a great supporter. Yeah, he almost turned into a wild man again. Yeah, almost. Rah! Nah, but Green Bay Wacky is definitely awesome supporter of the community. A wealth of knowledge in that man's soul and his heart and his very being. He's somebody that I've definitely had personal conversations with, off the live streams and chats and stuff like that. And, even on the chat, done panels with him. He was the first, was he the first person? I think he was one of the first persons I actually did a 5-hour live stream with on his panel. I still don't believe that we did a 5-hour live stream. I don't know how people do it, man. I couldn't imagine myself in the format that I'm doing now, speaking to you for 5 hours. I don't, that's insane. If I'm on a panel, a chat for 5 hours, straight up, yeah, thank you, Scott King. If I'm on a panel or chat for 5 hours, I have to be talking to somebody else, like on the chat. Not to say any of y'all don't say awesome good things in the comments or whatever. Lunatic Dad did like a 12-hour stream before this and thing. Well, Lunatic Dad and Green Bay Wacky are just, they're monsters. They're monster live streamers. They're like they're legends with this thing. I'm not saying I could never do it. I have to condition myself for a 5-hour live stream. I have to condition myself for an 8-hour live stream, for a 12-hour live stream. Is it something I would like to try one of these days? Yes, but it's something I probably have to call my brother in or friend in. I gotta call people in. I gotta call people up. Like, yo, look, I need you for this live stream. I don't know if I could be here like that for 8 hours or whatever the case may be. I gotta go to the bathroom, right? Get some sleep, get something to eat. I gotta have somebody come in, from the outside and be like, all right, let me chill and do this live stream with him. I gotta tag you in like a wrestling match. I'm over there in the kitchen, you here saying your thing. I need to call 90 lock up and do all that other stuff. I'm not knocking anybody that does it. I could do maybe an hour live stream, hour and a half. I've done an hour and a half live stream, maybe 2 hours. I could see myself. Oh, it's definitely not for me. Still in the long run. Yeah, I can do it, Cargo. I can do it. It's just, I don't want to bore people. You know what I'm saying? It's that's when I have to start finding other things. Yeah, WWE Tag Street Live Stream match. There you go. That's what you have. I'm a live stream better than you. Mel and so versus Green Bay Wacky and Lunatic Dad, tag stream, was it live stream? What would you say, a live stream tag team match? Winner takes all. Technically I could, but I choose not to. Yeah, I think anybody could do it. The thing, people don't understand the thing about live streaming and whatnot. Got to have your team president for 5 or 8 hours. Yes, Scott, you have to. The thing about live streaming, which people don't understand, it is a gift. It is a gift when you can hold people's attention for a particular amount of time. It is a blessing to be able to hold people's attention. I don't care if it's one person. I don't care if it's 4 people. I don't care if it's 11, whatever. If it's 11 million. If you can hold somebody's attention for an indeterminate amount of time and keep it engaging and interesting and have conversation, you have a gift. you have a gift. Somebody should cut you a damn check. Like I said, somebody needs to cut you a check. Like, like here, like take that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just cut you a check. You have the gift of gab. You can talk. I mean, and as much as I can talk, I even sometimes I'm on these live streams and I'm like, man, am I boring these people to death? Or, are they sick and tired of me? Somebody, like I said, if they fall asleep on me or something. What's up, Bobby Sprinkle? Appreciate you for coming through. Thank you. So it does that whole thing, just being able to hold people's attention, being able to be that person. But see, the thing I'll say about doing these live streams and the more you do them, if you pay attention, study yourself, and look at it, the better you get at it. I mean, me talking to a live audience, me being able to like even deliver like a monologue, or right now, I'll be honest with you, if I had somebody on the panel, this could easily go about 5, 6, 7 hours. I could easily tag and tay out. You can do it. Just don't shut yourself down. Yeah, no. I won't. It's interesting. It's interesting. I can do it. I just don't. I'm not gonna do it today, right now, in this particular thing. Especially if I'm gonna go live later on. Give myself time to think and regroup and overcome and whatnot. Because this is actually my second live stream of the day, because I did a live stream earlier. I'm super bored now. You gotta argue about honestly you give to the old people. You're the real talkers. Well, I appreciate that, Fury 009, but it's also to you. It's personality. It's like the comic. They said the comic Red Skelton. I don't know if anybody is old enough to remember Red Skelton. I was before my time too, but they said about Red Skelton proved that as a comic, as an entertainer, or somebody that is presenting content to somebody, is that you may not have always the best content. You may not always be the best, smartest, sexiest, or whatever the case. But if people like your character, if people gravitate towards you as a person, they'll go along the ride with you for a lot of things. And let me see what Cargo says. Yeah, earlier I was in the grocery store when you went live. I appreciate that, Cargo. I appreciate, you still being here after you went to the grocery store. Most great things come with at least a little preparation. Yes, I do agree with that. Most things do come with a little preparation, but not everything has to be overly prepared. Some things are off the cuff. And your preparation can come from other areas in life. I may not be prepared to be a social media giant or whatever the case may be, but life experience from other areas of life will prepare you for different things. You take that knowledge and you combine it and you translate it to, other areas of life. You could be somebody who's never live streamed a day in your life, but you're a customer service, or you're a 911 operator, or you were somebody that really, did something that was, important in life. And you say, okay, I'm translating these skills to, this particular medium or this particular genre or this particular, aspect of my life. So, life experiences do transfer. And then being online and talking to people, from different walks of life and different ideologies, different religions, sexualities, and stuff like that, it translates to something else. The thing is, what is that something else? I gotta see my cousin pictures of it. Okay, cool, Cargo 619. I know you out there making money and doing your thing. Inspirational. I'm trying to sell. Wow. That's funny. No, you can't do that. I'm too expensive. You can't sell me. I'm priceless. You would be a quadrillionaire if you could sell me. I don't, but that's not going to happen. For the most part, it's just, I don't know. It's just interesting. It's just why you learn a lot from being on here. I've learned a lot from being on YouTube, just talking to different people, just exploring the possibilities of what I could do, the avenues and whatnot. I know one thing that I will say, to folks, and I've gotten pushback on this: the quality of what you do matters, because you can come on here and you could give quantity all day. I can live stream on top of 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 live stream. But what comes down to it is, what is the quality of my conversation? What is the quality of my background? How I present myself? How I speak to the people? What is the quality of my conversation? What do you walk away from? When you see me, when you hear me, is it just me? Sitting there, black man sitting in his house, in his bathroom, in his kitchen, in his bedroom? Is it just that, or is it something where I get you to think? I know more millionaires than most. Hey, listen, if you know more millionaires than most, Sky King, maybe we need to rearrange something. Like I said, but that's another story all in itself. You know, and but on another note, back to what I was talking about, it is so much that you can learn from, you know, this experience of just, you know, going through it, of the purpose of live streaming or whatever we do. Yes. Yeah, no, it is so much to that, you know. I mean, hopefully, I say to folks, when you're on here
Mhm.
doing this online content,
Mhm.
when you're engaging with people
Mhm.
and whatnot, you know, you're
Mhm.
actually, you know, doing what it is
Mhm.
that you need to do. And
Mhm.
I have to take a call, so
Mhm.
I say to you folks,
Mhm.
spread love. It's the Brooklyn way.
Mhm.
Got my mother calling me, so
Mhm.
this is where this has to end. You
Mhm.
know, I have to actually call my mother back and see what's going on with her. She's going on vacation or whatever the case may be. So, you know, I got to make sure she got to her destination safely. Um, I would love to stay on here at least 10 minutes more, but family first. So take care of yourselves. Thank you for the conversation. You've been awesome. I will see you later. Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way.